Hi, I'm Jillian. I studied abroad in London, England. I'm going to be a senior. I'm majoring in journalism and history, and I'm getting a certificate in European studies. I would say that if you're considering going to England, go to London. It's the most amazing city I've ever been. I'm from Chicago. I love big cities, and London is so great. It's better than anywhere I've been before. The classes in the program are fantastic. Transportation in London is amazing. It's easy to get anywhere. It's easy to get outside of London and stay inside of London. There's really nothing that I can say that isn't great about the program. I chose to study abroad because I wanted to get outside of Madison. I knew that it was something that I wanted to do while I was in high school. And I wanted to push myself to do something new, step outside my comfort zone. And I feel like if you consider studying abroad, then you should do it, because if you don't, you'll regret it. I knew that if I hadn't gone, I'd be really angry with myself. We lived in the Royal Borough of Kensington, Chelsea. We lived in a flat directly across the street from Kensington Gardens and down the street from Hyde Park. The flat itself was like a dorm. I lived with 2 other girls in one room. We had a single bed and bunk beds, and there were 16 other people on our floor. We shared a kitchen, a living room, and a dining room. It sounds like the dorms because it is like the dorms, but it's different because the rooms are much closer together. You share space a lot more because London is a really populated city in a really small area. So everything is kind of on top of each other. This is really typical for all of London. This isn't like an unusual style of living. So you have really interesting neighbors. We lived next door to 2 different embassies. We lived next door to the Dutch embassy and the Kenyan embassy, so that was really cool. And we live right by all of our program facilities. Everything is in walking distance. We traveled to, I think I went to 7 or 8 different countries, and traveling is really easy. Heathrow is the biggest and easiest to get to airport in London, and then the rail services in London and all of England are amazing. And once you're in mainland Europe, flying and traveling is really cheap. It's not like taking a flight from Chicago to San Francisco. We would pay £50, £75 for a flight to Ireland, maybe £100 for my flight to Paris. It was really cheap. I feel like studying abroad opened up a whole bunch of new doors to me. I realized that I can do things that I thought that I couldn't do. I've never been away from my family for that long. I'm not really a homebody, but I'm very close with my family, and so going away for 4 months made me realize that I don't actually need them for everything in my life, and that I can do a lot of things on my own. I also realized that I love traveling. I will not be staying in one place for a very long time after I graduate. Getting out and doing things is something that I want to do now. And going to London made me realize that I want to go other places. So I plan on studying abroad again before I graduate.